Your engine is breathing through a filter right now, and there's a good chance it's one of the worst ones you could have picked. Not because you did anything wrong, but because the auto parts aisle is absolutely stacked with air filters that look fine on the outside and are quietly wrecking your engine on the inside. Dirty air sneaking past the media, oil clogging your mass airflow sensor. Dust working its way into your cylinders, one microscopic grain at a time, and you won't even know it's happening until you're staring at a repair bill that makes your stomach drop. Most drivers change their oil religiously, they track their tire pressure, they baby their paint job, and then they'll grab whatever air filter is cheapest without a second thought. That one decision might be costing you more than any other maintenance mistake you're making. So today, we're breaking down 7 types of air filters you need to stay away from, why they're doing damage right now if you've got one installed, and exactly what to look for instead. Stick around, because number 4 is the one almost nobody talks about. And it's probably sitting in half the cars in your neighborhood right now. Let's start with the one everybody's tempted by, the ultra-cheap, no-name paper filter you grab off the bottom shelf because it's $5 cheaper than the name brand. Look, we get it, saving money feels good. But here's what's actually happening inside that filter. Bargain bin paper media is usually thinner, less densely pleated, and glued together with weaker adhesive than the filters from established brands. Under real-world driving highway speeds, dusty back roads, stop-and-go traffic, that cheap media can actually start breaking down. Tiny fibers and dust particles slip right through and get pulled into your intake, then straight into your cylinders, where they act like sandpaper on your cylinder walls and piston rings. That's not a maybe, that's basic physics. Cheap filtration means more contamination, and more contamination means accelerated engine wear you'll be paying for in a few years, not tomorrow. And the frustrating part is, you'll never see it coming, because the damage is happening at a microscopic level, mile after mile, long before you notice any drop in performance. Number 2, and this one surprises a lot of people, the over-oiled reusable cotton gauze filter. Now, cotton gauze filters aren't inherently bad. Plenty of performance guys swear by them. The problem is what happens when you or a shop re-oils them without following the actual instructions. Too much oil, and that excess doesn't just sit there, it gets pulled downstream by your intake airflow and coats your mass airflow sensor. Once that sensor's coated in a film of oil, it starts sending bad data to your ECU. Your car starts running rich, your fuel economy tanks, and in some cases you'll trigger a check engine light that has absolutely nothing to do with the actual sensor being broken. It's just dirty. This is one of the most common self-inflicted air filter problems out there, and it's completely avoidable if you actually measure the oil instead of eyeballing it. A lot of guys just tip the bottle and go until it looks right, and that's exactly how you end up with a $150 sensor replacement over something that a 5-minute cleaning would have prevented. Third on the list, counterfeit filters. This is the sneaky one. With online marketplaces the way they are now, there are listings out there mimicking well-known filter brands almost perfectly. Same box design, same colors, sometimes even a similar part number. But crack one open next to a genuine filter, and the difference is night and day: thinner media, sloppy pleating, seals that don't sit flush. A filter that doesn't seal properly around the housing is arguably worse than a filter with slightly weaker media. Because now you've got unfiltered air bypassing the filter entirely and going straight into your engine. If a listing looks too good to be true on price, or the seller isn't an authorized retailer, that's your red flag. Buy from a source you actually trust, and if you're ever unsure, check the reviews specifically for people mentioning fitment issues or a different than expected product. That's usually where counterfeits get exposed. Number 4 in this is the one most people never think about: foam filters that haven't been properly maintained or were installed dry. Foam filters, the kind you'll see on some trucks, off-road setups, and older performance builds, rely entirely on oil to trap particles. A dry foam filter is basically an open invitation for dust and dirt to walk right through. And here's the part people miss. Foam degrades over time even if it looks okay from the outside. The cell structure breaks down, it loses density, and its ability to trap fine particles drops off a cliff. If you're running foam and you can't remember the last time you serviced it, that filter might be doing next to nothing for you right now. This is especially common with off-road and overlanding setups where people are so focused on the mud and the trail dust that they forget the filter needs just as much attention as the tires. Fifth, universal cone filters that don't actually match your intake housing. You've probably seen these, the shiny aftermarket cones that promise more horsepower and a cooler engine sound. But a lot of these are sold as one size fits most, and when they don't seal perfectly against your factory intake tube or airbox, you get gaps. Those gaps let unfiltered, and sometimes hot engine bay air, get sucked straight into your intake. That's called heat soak, and it actually kills horsepower instead of adding it. On top of letting contaminants bypass filtration completely. If you're running an aftermarket cone, double-check that seal is airtight, not just close enough. Run your finger around the whole edge and make sure there's zero wiggle room. Sixth, filters with cheap, flimsy plastic frames. This one's easy to overlook because you're focused on the filter media, not the housing around it. But those thin plastic frames on some budget filters can actually warp under heat, especially if they're sitting near the exhaust manifold or turbo. Once that frame warps even slightly, it stops sitting flush in your airbox, and now you've basically got a leak built right into the design. A filter is only as good as its seal, and a warped frame turns a decent filter into a bypass valve for dirty air. Next time you swap filters, actually flex the frame a little in your hands before you install it. If it feels brittle or thin, that's a sign it won't hold up long term. And number 7, old, expired stock sitting on store shelves. Yeah, air filters can go bad before you even install them. Paper filters that have been sitting in a warm warehouse or a hot store shelf for years can dry out and get brittle. Cotton gauze filters that were pre-oiled at the factory can have that oil break down or go stale over time. If you're buying online from a third-party seller, or grabbing something from a dusty display that looks like it's been there since your car was new. Check the manufacture date if it's printed anywhere, and honestly, when in doubt, just go somewhere with faster turnover. If this saved you from grabbing the wrong filter next time you're at the parts store, do me a favor and smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Drop a comment and let me know which one of these surprised you the most. I read every single one.